G'day there guys, Markee here, back at it again with another episode of r/relationship advice. Now if you love today's video like I love you, I want you to sit back, relax, chuck a prawn on the barbie, a like on the video, and enjoy today's bloody good content. Also, if you're looking for another sexy Australian voice to butter your bread, then head on over to J Mick. Little pop-up on the top right of the screen should take you directly to his latest video. Posted by user ThrowRA_PatHelp. Titled, "My girlfriend, 27, is pregnant, and I, 25, don't want kids." So my girlfriend and I have discussed having kids early and throughout our relationship. We both stated that we didn't want kids. In fact, she was the one to bring it up first. We always have check-up conversations to make sure we're on the same page. I was even planning on getting a vasectomy. She told me that she was pregnant and she's 10 weeks along. I asked her if she wanted to go the adoption or abortion route, and she got offended. She said that she wanted to keep it. I was very confused, but she said she changed her mind. I said that I didn't change mine and that I have no desire at all to be a father. I told her that she can do what she wants because it's her body, but that I want no involvement and that I would terminate my parental rights. The relationship would also be over. She got upset, which I understand. It's just that we were both very adamant about not having any kids. Her even more than me. She said that I would regret doing so, and for that reason she won't let me. She didn't speak with me the rest of the night. I feel bad because I love her, but I really do not want kids. I will not be a good father anyway, so what's the point? I don't want to make her give it up if she doesn't want to, even though I wish she would. I love her, and it sucks that this is happening, but I'm not meant to be a father. Can she somehow stop me from terminating my rights? If she somehow decides not to keep the pregnancy, do you think the relationship is salvageable? It's not that simple to terminate your rights. You have the right not to see the child and let her have full custody, but you will have to pay child support. It's hard to say if the relationship is salvageable if she aborts. She may resent you for it in the long run. Doesn't this depend on what country OP is in? It might not be possible in the US, but OP could be from anywhere. It's a tough situation. My husband and I didn't want kids. Unfortunately, birth control isn't always effective, and when I found out I was pregnant, I couldn't put myself through the termination. We had done it once before as a stupid 18-year-olds, and it crushed me emotionally the first time. So I told him that he could leave if he couldn't be in it with me. I gave him an out because I knew I couldn't go through the cost and pain of another abortion, and he didn't want kids. Unfortunately for me, he stayed and abandoned us when my son was 4 months. And that hurt worse, because I gave him an out so I could fully prepare to either do it on my own or do it together if he stayed. If you're 100% firm on not wanting to be a dad, I support that, and I think you should sit her down and talk and explain and get out now. I'm sure she will be emotional and upset, but it's best that she prepare now to be a single mother and get things in order to do so. Because I wish every day my husband would have taken the out when I gave it to him instead of sticking around and then forcing us to start over. She needs to know that she'll be in this without you to plan accordingly. There is no easy way to go about this, but honesty is going to be the least painful way for both of you to move on. I will never understand a man abandoning his kid. Relationships don't work and you leave, I get that. But your kid is your kid. Do it amicably, stay in town, split time and money, act like a fudging human being, and raise your spawn. I would never make someone stay and do something that they did not want to. It's unhealthy for every party involved. I understand what you're saying, but sometimes the better option for everyone is to be apart when one party doesn't want to be involved. It's better for a kid's developing mind instead of trying to figure out things they won't understand that will cause them stress and emotions they may not be able to express properly. I'd never make someone either. I would make them pay child support and look down on them for it. And as a man, I don't keep friends who don't pay child support, just FYI. Update. My girlfriend, 27, is pregnant and I don't want kids. Just to clear up some things. 1. We were using protection on both of our ends. Well, at least I know I was. Now I'm not so sure if she was really on the pill. 2. If I could have gotten a vasectomy earlier, trust me, I would. I was getting refused for years. 3. I didn't try pressuring her into getting an abortion. I asked because I wrongfully assumed that she would want to get one. When she said no, I didn't press it further. I wouldn't do that. She's really trying to make me stay, and it seems like I don't have much of a choice in the matter. She told her family, and they are very interesting people. Her mum and dad have been calling me to berate me. Her brother is threatening me and has a history of violence. They all showed up to our place to come and yell at me. I am diagnosed with GAD, and also get panic attacks, which kind of plays into why I don't want kids. This situation was already making me anxious, and now with her family at my throat, it's not helping. I don't know if she purposefully did this, knowing that it would cause me extreme anxiety. I know that they won't leave me alone. No matter what or where I go, they will harass me. I honestly thought signing away my rights if possible would be the best for all of us, kid included. I truly do not think that I will be a good father. My dad was in my life, but he wasn't a good one. He was very abusive to me and my mother. He broke my arm on purpose out of anger when I was 14. I would have rathered him not be in my life at all. Maybe I'm projecting. Either way, it doesn't matter, because it doesn't seem like I'm leaving, and my girlfriend seems to be very happy with that. She's already talking about a nursery and stuff. I know I come off as a crappy person. It's not just me trying to be a deadbeat and not take responsibility. We discussed not wanting kids our whole relationship, so it felt like I was being blindsided. What if I pass my anxiety down to this kid? I feel like that's unfair to them. It's not easy to deal with. What if I'm alone with it and have a panic attack? I just hope I don't screw this kid up. This is why I don't want this. I'm not made for fatherhood. My girlfriend knew this. We discussed this constantly. I guess she changed her mind a long time ago and didn't tell me, or she was lying so I didn't leave. I'm not sure, but she was the one that brought it up, so it must have been true at first. Restraining orders are a thing. Don't let them think they can strong-arm you into staying in a relationship. You should see about getting a lawyer so that you know what your options are, and request a paternity test. Document everything her family said and did to try to pressure you into staying with her and the child that you never wanted. This is some big red flag right here. Get a lawyer, like yesterday. You get a lawyer ASAP. The resentment and anger that her and her family will feel are going to make them want to get whatever they can from you. They'll be planning already. Get that lawyer. And if she lied to you about the pill, that's pure and simple sexual violence. Agreed. Reproductive coercion and baby trapping is abuse. If they were both truly practicing safe sex, the odds of this happening are microscopic. She could have easily lied about being on the pill and even tampered with his condoms. I feel terrible for OP. Until I read this post, I didn't realize you have to get permission from the other partner to terminate your parental rights, and I don't know what the hell is wrong with doctors that they make getting sterilized so impossible for young people. I hope he gets some legal assistance and reaches out maybe to a domestic abuse hotline to find resources on getting therapy and support. Like a lot of people say here, 1. Give her a clear indication that you do not intend to stay with her and she will become a single mother. 2. Pay her child support only once it's established the child is actually yours and you have a court decision regarding the amount of child support. 3. Don't jump into the conclusion that removing your rights changes anything regarding child support. She will have to agree to you signing away your rights, and it's more than likely to mean only as much as the fact that you won't be involved in any decisions regarding the kid's life, not child support. You can have no parental rights and still be obligated to pay child support. This tends to disappear only if both parents give the child to adoption. And 4, if need be, deal with her family by any legal means available to you, restraining orders and the like if and when justified. And also, do not sign the birth certificate until you have paternity tests proving that you are the father. This right here might seem obvious but doesn't hurt to check. It is exorbitantly expensive, but they can do in vitro paternity test. Maybe explore that option so you know even before the baby is born. Edit, I really appreciate all the comments. It's made me have another look, and as OneShot99210 pointed out, there is actually a newer and safer method that involves drawing blood from the mother and possible father to determine paternity, and as pointed out, is safer. It can be done as early as 7 weeks into the pregnancy, and is apparently very reliable. I personally know a couple of men who have been conned into raising children that weren't theirs, and then my own partner whose ex denied the child was his until the kid hit puberty, and she no longer wanted to deal with him. She refused paternity tests right up until the day she tried to palm him off on someone else. We do what we can for him now, but the fact that my partner missed out on so much of his life has created a lot of resentment, especially on the kid's part. So for me, any person should fight as hard as they can to determine what needs to be determined. Posted by user ThrowRA Habundex121343. Titled, How Should I, 36 female, react to husband, 40 male, suddenly Zoom calling with his ex? Background. He and I have been together for about 15 years. Lately, I feel like we've been growing apart. Nothing major, I just feel like he kind of forgets I exist. He's always working, and I'm not really a priority to him. And now with the pandemic, since we're at home together all the time, he feels like we do spend time together, even though it's mostly watching TV at night or eating lunch over the sink together. This is not the first time I've sensed this distance between us. Current issue. My husband has remained good friends with his ex-girlfriend for probably 20 years before my time. I'm not a huge fan of their relationship, but he insists on keeping it, so I just usually let it go because he doesn't listen or respect my opinion anyway. She's married and lives far away, so as far as I'm aware, they only interact on social media every now and then. Today at lunch, he told me that he was jumping on a Zoom call with her. As far as I know, this is the first time they've spoken face to face since they broke up 20 years ago. He has now been in this Zoom call for 2 hours and counting. Apparently, she also has this online conference thing she's hosting tonight, and he's told me that he's going to tune into that too. I also found out that she had a conference the night before last. That night, he was in his home office working really late, but now I wonder if he attended that conference too without telling me. I feel like I should talk to him about how I feel, but am I overreacting? At lunch, when he told me about today's Zoom call, he asked if it was okay with me in kind of an annoyed tone, and I almost laughed out loud. Instead, I just shrugged and asked if what I thought even mattered. We both knew that he would do whatever he wanted, whether I was okay with it or not. I know if I broach the subject, I'll just look like the tiresome, jealous wife. But am I justified here? I really can't tell anymore. I think you're entitled to feeling this way. Marriage, at least in my life, is an honest partnership. Maybe you can try and address the distance more, and express to him that you're kind of feeling like your feelings and opinions don't matter. The best thing you could do for your marriage, and mainly yourself, is speak to your husband about how you're feeling. If he's not willing to listen to accept your feelings, then maybe you both will have to address a larger issue. And OP says, "You're right. I guess I just need to talk to him. We both hate confronting issues because nothing ever changes. I know I need to talk to him though. He doesn't listen or respect my opinion anyway." This is the bit that got me. Whether your husband is doing something harmless or not with his ex, at this point, I don't think it really matters. What's more important is that it seems as though you feel unheard and neglected in this relationship in general, and that is a bad sign. What do you feel would happen if you opened up to your husband and let him know how you feel? Have you felt like this the whole relationship? From this post, it doesn't sound like there is anything jealous wife about your reactions or how you feel. You are reacting to something broken in your relationship. If it was healthy, it wouldn't matter who he spoke to, or you would be dealing with any issue with him. I was looking for something who would mention this. This is by far the biggest red flag in this post. But OP seems almost resigned that this is how it's going to be. This is the problem that needs to be addressed first and foremost. You cannot be in a life partnership with someone who doesn't care what you think or how you feel. Update: how should I react to my husband suddenly Zoom calling with his ex? Just wanted to let everyone know that my husband was in fact cheating on me. He's been having an emotional affair with his ex that stretched over years. He confessed the day after I posted the original. We are now headed toward divorce after 15 good, well, I thought so anyway, years together. Trust your intuition. And to everyone who told me I was just not being confident enough or that I was being jealous, please go screw yourselves. Thank you. Edit: thank you to everyone for being so nice. It means so much. To answer a few questions, he loves her, and has said repeatedly that if forced to choose, he will choose her. So no reconciliation on the horizon. Emotional affair equals no physical contact, but an intimate emotional involvement with romantic intentions. Yeah, I messaged the ex's husband with all the details, and he read it. Apparently, he's fine with it because they are not splitting up. She told my husband a couple of weeks ago she also had long-time feelings for him, and after that they were sexting, so it did have a sexual element. They've been online pals in regular contact for at least 7 years, and he always refused to stop talking to her. There is no way this won't taint your memories of your relationship, the good and the bad. But don't forget that you are the person you are today because of these experiences, so if you ever start to doubt yourself or feel like you've wasted that time, remember that he's the one that wasted it. You get to walk away from this knowing you chose to care for yourself. And he's always going to know that he screwed up and that you know the real him. Keep your head high. It sucks, but you got this. OP says, thanks. That helps because I've been thinking I kind of wasted that time, but I like what you said here. A failed relationship should only be considered wasted time if you learned nothing from it. We are the sum of our experiences, both good and bad. And there is no true appreciation of beauty without a metric crap ton of ugliness to give it context. That's my fortune cookie moment. I'm sorry you're going through this, but good for you for trusting your gut and getting out of this relationship. You deserve so much better. Thank you. I'm scared of what's next, but I also feel stronger each day. I guess it could feel super cliche at this point, but there is great insight in what Dolores said in Westworld. The pain, their loss. It's all I have left of them. You think the grief will make you smaller inside, like your heart will collapse in on itself. But it doesn't. I feel spaces opening up inside of me, like a building with rooms I've never explored. Good luck, girl. There's a brand new life waiting for you. Posted by user ThrowRA, I'm not going to read those numbers, titled, My 24 male girlfriend, 24 female, and my brother, 26 male, got into a fist fight over a political argument, and now my family is demanding I break up with her. I introduced my girlfriend to my parents, siblings, and extended family on a family get-together a few days ago. This was the first time I had seen them since the start of the pandemic, and it started out really well, with everyone getting along and having fun. That would change as more alcohol was consumed. My girlfriend and brother got into a heated political argument that suddenly escalated into violence, resulting in substantial injuries for both of them. Accounts of who threw the first punch differ, and I frankly don't care, as they both actively contributed to the fight and antagonized each other. The fight was eventually broken up when my girlfriend had the clear advantage. My mum screamed at my girlfriend to leave, so we left. I love both my girlfriend and my brother, and I don't blame either one of them for the fist fight more than I blame the other. My girlfriend also doesn't seem to hold any grudges, and is embarrassed by her behavior during the incident. My brother and parents, on the other hand, place 100% of the blame on my girlfriend, and demand that I break up with her, or they will cut all ties with me. I will not do that, but I want to maintain my relationship with my family and somehow get them to accept my girlfriend, and that she should not bear all blame for this incident. My brother is also demanding that my girlfriend pay for his alleged medical expenses, and is threatening to report her to the police if she refuses. My experience of growing up in this town makes me think sexism in the local police department makes it unlikely that anything would come of that report, as they would almost certainly refuse to consider the possibility that a woman can assault a man. I've offered to pay off my brother, but my girlfriend refuses to let me do that and says that she will pay him if he can prove that the medical expenses are real. My girlfriend still has clearly visible injuries, but did not visit the hospital. I suggested that she go to get her injuries documented, but she doesn't want to do that. I just wish everyone could forget about this and move forward, but writing this makes me think my family is acting unreasonably, and perhaps I should just cut contact with them as they are threatening to do with me. Perhaps growing up with these people makes me blind to how ridiculous their behavior is. I don't know what I should do. I think perhaps in this case, who threw the first punch actually matters. For example, let's say your girlfriend said, "This president is the greatest president ever." Then maybe your brother disagreed. No, he is actually an idiot. If she flipped out and started wailing on your brother, well, you better think about your relationship with that girl. On the other hand, if your brother started throwing fists because she expressed her political opinion and your parents support this behavior, well then, you better think if you want a relationship with that family. This is the best answer. Well, since he isn't answering the question even though he has seen this reply, he has replies which are more recent and this is the top comment, I'm going to guess that his girlfriend punched first. And if that's the case, I'ma say his family is right and his girlfriend is trash. Honestly, it's weird that no one stepped in until the girlfriend had the advantage. Your family? Blaming them because it's his family, not hers, so she's the odd one out, just let him wail into a girl and didn't bother to stop until he was going to get his ass beat back? This whole thing sounds weird, and someone had to have started it. It's not like they are seasoned hockey players that looked each other in the eye a certain way and knew exactly when to drop the gloves. It also sucks that it seems your parents care more about your brother and his bruised ego than your happiness if they're willing to cut ties with you without hearing your side. Yeah, this is screwed up. I bet accounts differ about who threw the first punch means she says he did, and his family is saying that she did. Given that his family contains people who are fine with a man beating up a woman until it looks like she might have some fight in her, then they step in? I'm not inclined to see the family in a good light here. No idea about the girlfriend, but that family is messed up. Update: my girlfriend and my brother got into a fist fight over a political argument, and now my family is demanding I break up with her. Thank you for all the advice, and apologies for the vagueness of my original post. I showed it to my girlfriend, and she agreed that it was vague and thought I left out important details. I will let her provide those details at the end. You convinced me that it may actually matter who threw the first punch. Before making the original post, I had heard two mutually exclusive versions of events, one told by my girlfriend and one told by my parents and my brother. It's honestly very hard for me to believe that any of them would lie about something like this. I have since reached out to everyone else who may have seen how it started and received two relevant replies. One from my aunt, who confirmed my parents' and brother's version, and one from my younger sister, who described a scenario similar to what my girlfriend had told me. Everyone who sided with my brother has obviously had the opportunity to talk with him and each other, and intentionally or unintentionally influence each other's story. It's very unlikely that my girlfriend and sister has done that, as they don't know each other, and my sister would have no reason to lie for my girlfriend. I don't think there is a reasonable explanation for them telling the same story other than it's the truth. I am therefore almost certain that my brother hit my girlfriend first. My parents have recanted the threat to cut ties with me for not breaking up with my girlfriend, but they are still saying that she's not welcome back to their home and will never be a part of our family. I'm honestly done with them at this point. She has done everything and more, including being willing to pay for his medical expenses, and my brother refuses to even hear her apology, much less make his own, or take any responsibility at all. At this point, I am 100% behind my girlfriend, just as my parents are 100% behind my brother. Many people commenting on the original post asked if my brother is racist, or assumed that he is, after I revealed what the argument was about. I'm honestly not sure how to answer that. My brother sometimes repeats racist talking points from TV and social media, especially against Hispanic people. But last year, he was strongly against the deportation of a neighboring family who had immigrated from Mexico. He even, probably facetiously, suggested that their deportation was a conspiracy to undermine Trump's immigration policy by deporting good people instead of violent criminals. I have never heard my brother use a racial slur or seen him treat anyone differently because of their race. I guess the answer depends on how you define racism. And here is my girlfriend's comment. This is what I think happened based on what I remember, assume, and was told afterwards. It's probably not entirely correct. We were all sitting around a big outdoor table. I was sitting between my boyfriend and his brother. We talked about non-political things like places we had been or wanted to travel to, but then someone mentioned the protests, and my boyfriend's brother immediately responded by calling the protesters terrorists. I asked what made them terrorists, and if the cops were also terrorists by that definition. I don't remember how he responded, but the argument continued from there. We were drinking progressively more alcohol as we continued to argue, almost like if we were in an unspoken drinking contest. At some point, we both stood up and continued to argue loudly while getting in each other's face. My boyfriend tried to separate us by pulling us away from each other and by attempting to stand between us, but we ignored him and continued. My boyfriend really doesn't like conflict or people screaming, and he was probably very frustrated at that time, so he left and went into the house. We were both angry, and I definitely wanted to punch him, but I still had enough self-control to restrain myself. I fully believe in freedom of speech, and I know that violence is never an acceptable response to someone expressing an opinion. Then he punched me with a closed fist in the face. I don't remember feeling afraid or like I was defending myself when I hit back. What I felt was a strange mix of hatred and excitement. We traded a few punches, and then one of mine caused him to fall to the ground. I imminently kicked him in the chest, and was then pulled away from him by his dad. That kick is what I regret the most. It was excessive, dangerous, and completely unnecessary. I kicked someone laying defenselessly on the ground, and I didn't feel anything for him until several hours later. I'm terrified of the person I was then, but that person is still me. I did that, but I can't understand why. I was not afraid, and I remember doing it deliberately. I keep thinking about what would have happened if no one was around to stop me after that kick. Would I have kicked him again? How many times? I can't answer those questions, and that's the most horrifying thing. My boyfriend wrote that we both had substantial injuries. I don't think that's true. I had a black eye and some bruises. My boyfriend's brother had a broken rib and a concussion. My injuries were not substantial compared to his, which is why I don't think it's unfair for me to pay for his medical bills. I would have done that even without the threat of reporting me to the police. Some comments on this post indicated that my boyfriend's brother should either be more to blame or should feel ashamed of losing because of his gender. I disagree. Gender should not have anything to do with this. It's possible that he feels differently and is ashamed of losing to a woman, but I don't think that he should feel that way, even with that value system, as it was essentially random. He could just as well have knocked me to the ground with his first punch. I don't think strength or skills played any significant role. Lol, in the comments down here. He's not racist, but he insert obviously racist things. I don't think he's racist because he only hates Mexicans he doesn't know. Oh, come on. She got punched in the face. She defended herself. She was completely in her means. I'm honestly proud of her. Your brother deserves that. Exactly. Not only his view on the current events is wrong, in my opinion, he has to be violent about it? What an a-hole. If it was me, I would be completely childish over it and laugh at him for getting his ass kicked by her. Completely deserved it. OP's girlfriend talks with so much maturity and owns up for what she did. Honestly, fighting aside, I'd want to be with someone who learns from their mistakes and owns up for what they did. She was defending herself, and that's human instinct. By the way, did your brother ever say that he was the first to punch her, or that she's sorry? I have some principles. I don't respect men when they hit women unless their life is under threat. It's also human instinct to want to kick people when they're down after they try to hurt you. It's a way of saying that they had better not do any such thing again, and satisfies the natural desire for punishment. Right, the way she's beating herself up about literally just defending herself. If a man punched me in the face, I'm pretty sure I'd just see red and just go the hell off too. Alright guys, that's where I'm going to end today's video. I really do hope you enjoyed it, and maybe even learned something that you didn't know before. If you haven't already, please do feel free to click that like button, as it really does help me in the YouTube algorithm. And if you haven't already and you loved today's video, please feel free to subscribe. I would love it a lot. Also, big shout out to all my Patreon members and channel subscribers. You guys are all up on the screen right now. I love you. I love your faces. Also, I love seeing you guys all chatting down below in the comments. It brightens my day to see the stories that you guys share and just the kind words you guys always have for my videos, as well as everyone else in the videos. I love you too. But honestly, your ongoing support means the world to me, and I just love it so much that you guys are able to support a career for myself that I invest so much time into. And you guys honestly motivate me to work harder each and every day to put more love into the videos for you guys. If you guys have watched this far in the video and you haven't already subscribed on Patreon or become a channel member, that's cool, you don't have to, but there are links down below. You can donate any amount of money, pledge that any month, cancel whenever. I'm completely cool with it. It's just there for you to support me if you'd like to go the extra mile. And I'll go the extra mile for you guys by putting out new amazing content every single day. With that said guys, I really hope you have a good day, night, sleep, bath, time at work, whatever you're up to today. This has been Markee. I'll see you in the next amazing video. Bye.